curvating?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I need to take a look.
Hi, go long! Cried the princess, gave such a flourish with that the horse ran. You are quite spoiled. Good boy, Joe.
Hi, babies. Hi, babies. You sure are cute. Time for bed. Time to sleep. Here I am again in this one bed that I knew was going to be kind of the task, keeping the grass out of here. Grass just seems to love growing back here, and it grows deep and strong. But if I come out and just pull a little bit every day, it kind of helps to keep it down. Sometimes I have to spend a little bit more time, and that's okay. It's kind of like quality thinking time. It gets kind of warm, though. And I've got, some of the squashes coming up over here. And look at this purslane here. I've got purslane growing in, and that's like a really, really good plant to have. It's got a lot of nutrition in it. Our gardener had to take this one tree out in the front yard because it had some sort of a disease growing, but he left the stump in the ground, so he didn't pull it out. So I'm thinking maybe this might be a good place to just put a little gnome house or a door maybe, or so I just got a few things from Michael's and some moss, and we got a little gnome set up here. So gave him some gardening tools, a bicycle, a little patio set, and a barbecue grill, and we thought we would just make the best of this little tree stump here. The kids were using the Swiffers every day. I got these felts here because the Swiffers started really adding up. I mean, my goodness, it was like $10 for like 30 pieces of, Swiffer dust mops. And so I've got these, and these ones were on clearance for 25 cents each at Michael's. So I got, I don't know how many, like 20 of these. And believe it or not, these work actually better than the Swiffers. All right, they moved outside to their new home. This is the intermediate sized coop, and then when they get a little bigger, they'll move to the big one. So now they're outsiders. What do you guys think? They're still getting used to it. What do you guys think? Pretty cool, huh?
Let's do that. What I did. No, just no.
Good morning, everybody. It is, oh goodness, it's Tuesday, and this week is starting to go kind of slow already because I'm waiting for Friday. Friday, the kids have a pool party to go to, and that's going to be fun. And Honey and I get to have a date, and that'll be nice. And so anyway, I'm sorry about the background. It's like boring. But I am sitting on the stairs in the house, and it's far enough away from the kids. They haven't woken up yet, so it's not going to wake them up. And if I go outside right now, it's always nice out, but the dogs will jump all over me, and the neighbors will eavesdrop by their wall. So this spot, I feel, is just you and me right here in this boring area. On the stairs. Anyway, yeah, I did 20 minutes on my treadmill this morning, and I'm pretty sure I sprung my ankle. It's not a bad sprain, so I can walk on it, but it hurts after a little bit. And so I was able to do about 20 minutes before it was too painful, and it started swelling again. So I got off. I'll try to get back on later. But I know I should let it rest a bit, but I had been sick for a while, and so I really wasn't exercising then. So I feel like I can't, I don't have more time to just sit around, without moving my butt. But anyway, like yesterday, I went to go see Downton Abbey, and oh my goodness, I've been waiting for that movie to come out for so long, and I loved it. It was really good. I don't know if I love it more than the last one or the series, but it was good. I don't want to give any spoilers out, but if you like Downton Abbey, you will like this one too. I will say the one, and this isn't a spoiler, one thing that was a little odd, was here they are in Great Britain, right? And it's kind of, I guess it gets overcast there a lot. And Lord Grantham had this amazing tan. He was like the only one in his family. I thought, what is up with that? But anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. But if you're going to see it, you see it. Tell me if you notice it. So anyway, been doing a lot of thinking on where we're going with this channel, because obviously it's a conundrum. Sometimes I just like to hang out with other people who are online and they're just talking, right? One thing I've been thinking about lately, and I really need to do this, is I have been thinking that maybe I should just get up in the morning, carve out some time, and start writing down some things that I remember. I seem to, have a really good memory about things growing up, and let me shift over a little bit here. And whenever I talk to my family members, I always come up with these stories, and I say, oh, do you remember this and that? Remember, and so did this. Remember, we did that. And they look at me and they're like, wow, I would never have remembered that. You remember so many things. And I thought, I should write these things down. And I kind of wanted to put them, some of them, I think, the memories that you remember maybe about your family are not as flattering as I think that they would like to have people remember them by. And I thought about this, and I thought, I maybe should probably change the names if I do this, change the names of my family members so that I don't get sued by them for telling the truth. And I'll focus on the positive, but I mean, come on, life is life. And I wouldn't say anything that would be, I think, that should be unspoken. I think some things you should just, some people maybe want to get past. But so there's some funny little things that are very, interesting that might be nice to share with our kids, and with future generations or whoever. When I was in college, I needed to take a class, and sometimes, they give you like a group of classes you could take instead of those classes if they get filled up. And so one of them that I was able to substitute at the time, this is before I graduated, it was like a graduate course in Mexican Revolution history or something like that. And it was really interesting, and I learned a lot through that. But they had a suggested reading, or a mandatory reading, actually. And I think it was The Family of Artemio Cruz, I think was the name of the book. And it was about a family. It was a family who was in Mexico, and it kind of followed the dynamics of the family, and how they had stayed together, broken up, whatever, how they treated each other and whatnot. And I saw some similarities in my family, heritage-wise, culturally speaking, where it explained why maybe my parents did the things that they did, or why they accepted certain social norms and things like that in our family. It finally started clicking together that some of these things were probably like a cultural thing, right? And so it helped me to understand that. You know, the whole dating scene, you know, usually people get, their 16-year-old girl grows up, she gets ready to go to prom, they take pictures, you know what I mean, the whole thing. There's the boy in the house with the girl, and they're taking pictures, and it's really sweet. That was not my family. That was not my family. Because for us, and I guess my dad was really old school culture-wise, you know, we were not allowed to really have a boyfriend for a very, very, very long time. I mean, until it was like forced upon him. Here we were maybe 18 or something. And then we could finally admit that, Dad, we have a boyfriend, you know. But 16, it was really, really hard. And it seemed like, you know, and maybe this isn't for all Latin families, but if you read this book that I had read, you will see that there is a history of, you know, when the girl becomes of age to begin dating, some families, a lot of families will get very nervous about that, and all of a sudden they treat her like she's a little runaround. You know what I mean? You like boys? Oh, then you must be loosey-goosey or whatever. And just, you know, there's all this aggression that comes her way. And so I avoided that as much as possible, and avoided dating as much as possible, even though there was one person that I hung out with in high school. It was very minimal. The amount of contact that we had with each other was basically kept to school activities. So it really wasn't, you know, I really wasn't allowed to date alone. And I didn't date until I moved out. I was 18 when I left. I left home and I went to college and I rented a room. That's a whole other story. I'll get into that at some other point because it's very interesting. But anyway, that's when I started to date, and that is actually when I met my husband. And he was, I met him pretty quick. There were other people that I, you know, went out with at the time that were of no consequence really, but my husband was the best date I've ever been on, and he was such a gentleman. And when he kissed me goodnight, it scared me. And the reason why it did was because it was the most wonderful kiss in the entire universe. And I fell so deeply in love with him so quickly. As he drove away, I remember thinking to myself, so is this it? This is what it feels like to fall in love? This is it. And I was kind of afraid because I felt like maybe I was too young to be feeling this way. And I had my whole life in front of me. At that time, I was thinking, you know, goodness, I would probably join the military. I wanted to be a journalism photographer, you know, and all this stuff. And I knew that all of that was going to be up for grabs because I was in love, you know. I fell in love with this guy, and I didn't know what that was going to mean. And so that's another story, you know, again. But I fell in love that night. I remember I could still see him driving away and me thinking, wow, we're in for the long haul here, or I am, because I'm head over heels for this man. Anyway, so those are just some thoughts I just wanted to share with you. Today, I think I'm going to be doing some more of these little hangouts, probably in a nicer place than my stairwell. But anyway, so you guys have a wonderful day. Our chicks grew up really fast. Well, 6-7 weeks. It's been about that long since I put a video out, I think. And I'll try to be better about it because I think I want to spend more time over here. And yeah, another video. Anyway, okay, guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later.